Well, we do it in the same area. I don't think we'll necessarily do it as a team warm-up because, as we've all just mentioned, everyone's different. We've got different ailments. Adam's bad hands, can't catch a ball, so there's no point in passing and catching with him in a team environment, things like that. So we do it as a group and talk and discuss parts of the game that we might need to discuss. And I was just intrigued as to which games Jack thinks he's all over and is too good for these days.
Just ones that include scrums, Hamish.
Yeah, nice.
For me, I really love a hamstring acceleration, deceleration. So I stopped quite abruptly. So I've suffered from shin splints in years gone by, and one of the things I've tried to incorporate is as I build up my warm up is really increasing the speed, then decelerating really quickly. So probably want to do it later in the warm up when you've already started to warm up your hamstrings and got some load through your lower legs. But yeah, I do it between the lines on the pitch. So I'll have a little sprint out to the 5 and then try and slow down and hit the 5. Same again for the 22, and then same again for the 10-meter lines. I just find that really useful just to get myself ready to accelerate and decelerate in the game.
Great one.
I'll just throw in, I like to do, after I've done my activation, the first thing I go out is start doing some dynamic lunges or something, just because it gets all the blood pumping around the body, gets those legs warmed up, and then I can then go into my running after that. So for me, it's, I use lunges as one of my go-to exercises, but then anything that incorporates stretching out the hamstrings dynamically or the quads and stretching out those calves before you start running is brilliant for me.
Catherine, what were your go-to must-do exercises?
So I've sort of got my little build up of dynamic stretches. So similar things, open and close the gate, leg swings to get both the hamstrings and the glutes going, and then I do some build up dribble runs. So I start with quite small steps and do a few of those and build up. So by the time I've done 3 or 4 of them, I'm going up to full speed. So it's not that going straight from a jog into a sprint, it's so I've built up across the time. So as you say, nothing goes pop unexpectedly.
Good.
So I will just skip to the sound of any music that's going. I'll just skip along and just enjoy myself, because ultimately we're there at the end of the day to enjoy ourselves and enjoy what we're doing. So I quite like getting a bit of enjoyment in that. It does bring me a bit of laughter and enjoyment when I'm skipping around on the pitch. Everyone sort of looks at me a bit funnily, but I don't care.
Big fan of that. Big fan of that.
Part of Hamish's warm up is obviously to stick quite a lot of sun cream on that 5 head as well. So.
Yeah, true. Can't all be like you, Adam.
And Jack, what about you? Any go-tos, essentials for you?
So probably once you've got all the actual stretching and mobility out of the way with, I always do virtually what would be like a couple of the longer distance accelerated hamstring stuff. I've done that for probably 2-3 seasons now, and it just allows you to get up to full pace without going full pace for the first time. So and you can sort of take that 80%, 85%, and I'll probably do 4 of those, get myself up to 90 before I do anything really explosive off of that, to be honest. So yeah.
Right.
For me, it's a good opportunity to get fluids on, get some energy in there. I think that's still really important to your warm up, is to make sure you're fully hydrated and you've got some energy, because otherwise you might start feeling weak or and just putting yourself under pressure. So it's a really good opportunity just to lower that heart rate down a little bit, compose yourself, get some fluids on, and then we're lucky enough to work with other officials, so therefore we're able to chat through what's happened in the first half and then apply that information to the second half. When you run back out onto the pitch, it's an opportunity just to give your legs a little kick out, bit of a stretch, and then there's always a few moments before we get to restart the game. So therefore that's a moment just to feel how your body's going, and then you've got a couple of moments just to stretch anything out that you think needs a bit more attention.
Right.
Yeah, for me, don't do a lot of reactivation really. It depends on the temperature. If it's a freezing cold day or a nighttime game, sometimes I'll kick my heels around the change rooms a little bit just to keep warm. But most of the time, we're out, and that time goes really quickly, and we just use that time to chat through the first half. I think obviously depending on where you are and what you're refereeing up and down the game, I certainly remember refereeing locally on the Isle of Wight here, they only have 5 minutes for half time, just enough time for the coach to go and get another pint, and then they're ready to go again. So but yeah, I think the most we probably see is 15 minutes, and certainly personally I'm still pretty warm during that time, and it flies by for me.
Yeah. Good stuff. I think you're right, Woody. I think nutrition is important. Having a drink, having maybe the odd Jaffa cake or a jelly baby or something, whatever suits you, that you've tried in training before a game, and then just thinking about the movements, getting out there, having a little jog, getting going if you can.
I probably cheat a little bit, and I whack some deep heat on just before I go back out again at half time, just so you get that bit of placebo effect. I put it on the affected areas that need it, so my lower back, and as Adam's very kindly alluded to previously, my calves, I usually put some deep heat on my calves as well, just so when I'm running out back onto the pitch, everything feels nice and warm. Whether it actually helps or not, I don't know, but for me mentally it helps to get me back into the zone and feel that my muscles are ready to go for the second half.
They can smell you before they see you, Hamish.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very, as you mentioned there, Hamish, I think it's a very individual thing. If you feel like deep heat works, then if it's placebo, fine. But if it's, I think certainly to get the body deep tissues warm, if they need to again, is certainly the way forward. But it reminds me of the old sports halls deep heat. Great stuff. Any other thoughts on warm-up, guys? Are you going to show us some nice warm-up drills?
Right, good morning. Hamish Smales here, just down at the local park before my day of work. Just going to do a bit of a warm-up session for you, take you through a few things that I get done pre-match, most sessions that I do, just so I know what I'm going to be doing, and keep it nice and simple, don't have to think, and just crack on with it. So have a look.
Hope you're well. You can see it's a beautiful sunny day in Norfolk. I've just come down to the park this morning to do my speed session for the week, and today we've got speed intervals. So just set all my cones out ready. I'm going to start off with about a 15-minute warm-up, so that's all my dynamic stretches, then it's some of my movement drills, so that's where we get into the side steps and the karaokes, things like that. Really important, as I say, to make sure we're nice and warmed up, as I'm sure you can see the ground looks pretty hard this morning. So we'll do that, and then from there we'll go into the main bit of the session, which is nice, short, sharp, repeat speed intervals. So check back in when we're ready to do that. guys, you can see we did all of those, a couple of exercises over, 20-minute intervals. To repeat them twice each time. You can see already even that, you know, 7-8 minutes of exercise. It's definitely got me breathing, got me going, got me ready for the session. You can see that my heart rate's up. And that's definitely, that'll be coming down from where it was a minute ago. So you see, really important just to get it moving. It's not difficult to do so. Next one, I'm going to go into some more speed specific warm-up drills that I do before speed session here. So that's more of your bounding, your build-up sprints and things like that. So yeah.
Found myself a nice spot on the first team pitch. I'm going to do a nice warm-up now, roll my back out, do some nice back stretches, then get my legs moving, nice and dynamic. Plenty of work on my ankles as well because the pitch is a bit bobbly and I don't want to roll my ankles today, so I'm going to warm up my ankles nicely, get my hammies warm, get my calves warm, get my quads warm, and then build into a little bit of speed before I begin my speed endurance session. Okay, it's a decent warm-up done, 12.5 minutes work, really getting the heart rate up. I'm now going to stick on my rugby boots because the pitch is a bit sticky, and I'm going to do minute on minute off intervals times 8, working over the 100 meters, so from try line to try line. And today I'm going to really focus on getting some power off my turns, just starting to think about the build up to our fitness test coming up in a couple of months. So I want to start thinking about getting that power on at my turn. So